Johari has troubled us for years. Every day it's shouting about school, about Jamal. For more than 5 years we have fought their relationship so she could study in peace. But every time we separate them, they break up for a week, then reunite the next. It has finally dawned on me that these children truly love each other, and we have become the enemies of that love. Mama Johari's brow furrowed. So I'm thinking, he went on carefully, what if we stop fighting them? What if we allow them to love freely? Or better yet, what if we let them marry? The words hung between them. No, Mama Johari said immediately. My daughter is only 17. She is too young for marriage. I married you when you were 18. Baba Johari replied gently. There is hardly any difference between 17 and 18 if they marry. Johari can continue with her studies while in marriage. Perhaps that would finally bring her peace and better results in school. Mama Johari fell silent, turning the idea over in her mind again and again. After a long moment, she nodded slowly. If you believe this is wise, she said, then I agree. Let us pray she is found and return home safely after that. We can marry her off, but they must live here with us. If they agree, Baba Johari said quietly, that will be their decision. By the time Johari and Jamal arrived in Dar es Salaam, Jamal's heart had already begun to revolt against the path they had chosen. The further they went, the louder his conscience became. He tried again and again to convince Johari that they should return home before it was too late. But she shut him down with a stubbornness that left no room for negotiation. His mother's grief haunted him. His father's fragile condition tormented him. And yet, trapped between guilt and fear, he found himself unable to turn back. Mama Jamal had been broken by her son's escape, driven to speak words she never imagined she could utter against her own child. Meanwhile, Johari's parents, working hand in hand with the police, continued their search even as they secretly prepared themselves to accept a future they once fiercely rejected. Johari married to Jamal. If only she would come home alive. And now, Johari and Jamal sat inside a bus heading toward Taliani. The final stop, the edge of certainty, the beginning of consequences. Taliani was quieter than Johari expected. Dusty roads stretched lazily between low houses. Life moved slowly here, unbothered by the urgency pounding inside her chest. As they arrived, a middle-aged woman, Mazahausi, the landlady, handed Jamal the door key and began listing the terms in a firm, practiced tone. 20,000 shillings per month, she said. Water is fetched from the second house, 1 bucket, 100 shillings. If you don't understand anything, ask. Thank you, Mama. We understand. Johari replied politely. The woman disappeared into her house. Johari unlocked the door and scanned their new surroundings, trying to imagine a future growing out of bare soil. Jamal stood behind her, uneasy. You've already started wasting money, he said. There was no need to pay rent for the whole year. Come on, Johari laughed lightly. It's only 20,000 a month. 240,000 for a year is not waste. And furniture, utensils, a mattress, Jamal countered. By the time we're done, all the money will be gone. Johari shrugged. Maybe I should have stolen 2 million instead of 1, she joked carelessly. But don't worry, whatever remains, we'll invest in a business. Jamal shook his head. You make it sound easy. You grew up being cooked for, kind for, everything handed to you. Independence isn't romantic. She smiled slyly. Who said I'll be independent when my husband is here? Husband? Jamal echoed. Yes, she said confidently. You're my husband now you ran away with me. That alone is marriage. Did I run away with you? Jamal asked bitterly. Or did you run away with me? Fine, she said, waving it off. We ran away together. But our parents know you took me, and that you convinced me to steal money. If you return now, the police will be waiting. Jamal froze. Is that what you wrote in the letter? No, she replied calmly. But they know we love each other. If I'm gone and you're gone, where else could we be? Anyway, let's not argue. Get ready. We need to buy basics. She walked out, leaving Jamal behind, trapped in thought, his options shrinking by the second. Truth be told, Jamal loved Johari deeply. But love alone could not silence his conscience, thoughts of his family. His sick father, his devastated mother, pulled him backward. Yet even if he returned, another trial awaited him. Explaining himself to Johari's parents, the fear of that reckoning left him with only one choice: to follow Johari's lead. They went to the market together, plates, 2 cooking pots, buckets, cups, spoons, a thin 4x6 mattress, 2 dead sheets, pillows. By the time their small house was complete, only 400,000 shillings remained. They sat on the mattress, staring at the money. What business should we start? Johari asked eagerly. Jamal looked at her for a long moment, then said quietly, what if we use this money as fare to go back home? Johari stood up immediately, anger flashing across her face, and stormed outside. That evening, inspiration struck her like lightning. She asked Mazahosi, the landlady, for permission to build a small stall in front of the house to sell soup and chapati. The woman agreed. Jamal, reluctantly, joined her in preparing for the business, though in his heart he believed it would fail. And when it did, he would finally convince her to return home. Johari, however, was certain of success. She believed Jamal was waiting for her to fail. She was determined not to. By morning, a carpenter had built the stall. They bought supplies, meat, spices, firewood, utensils. The business opened. Day 1 passed without a single customer. The soup went cold. They ate some and gave the rest to the landlady and other tenants. Day 2, nothing. By day 3, Jamal began to feel God was answering his silent prayers. Johari, however, refused to surrender. Even as money for meat dwindled, the landlady and tenants, meanwhile, were enjoying free soup far too comfortably. That was when Johari snapped. She marched to the local government office and borrowed a megaphone. And she walked through the neighborhood house by house, announcing loudly that delicious, affordable soup was available at a nearby home. People stared at her like she had lost her mind. But Johari did not care. She was not waiting for failure. She was fighting it. By evening, Johari returned home utterly drained, her legs aching, her throat sore from shouting into borrowed hope. her spirit worn thin by stubborn faith. The house felt heavier than usual, as though the walls themselves were tired of pretending. Jamal watched her closely. To him, this was the moment. This was the opening he had been waiting for. "Johari," he said carefully, maybe it's time we go home."